If you're looking to grow your physical therapy practice and fill your clinicians' caseloads, then this is the solution. Google Ads can be one of the most effective channels for helping you drive new patients to your practice. And this video is a guide on how to set up really effective Google Ad campaigns for your physical therapy or healthcare clinic. My name's Isaac. I do marketing for physical therapy and healthcare practices. In this video, we're going to cover things like how the auction actually works, how to structure your campaigns, ad copy, budgets, and how to track if your campaigns are actually working. You're going to walk away with a strategy that is built for physical therapy and for healthcare clinics, not just some generic advice. So let's dive into it. Google Ads is all about search interception. When someone searches for physical therapy near me or PT in Coeur d'Alene, we want to intercept that search and drive them to our website. And so that's where Google Ads can be incredibly effective. And so these are very much bottom of the funnel searches. These are people actively looking for what your clinic offers right this second. Compare that with meta ads, for example, where someone is just scrolling through Instagram or Facebook and they're looking at updates from their friends and entertaining memes and reels and things, and our ad has to interrupt them and get them to take action. With Google Ads, we are actually capturing that search at the moment they're looking for what we offer. So let's talk about how the auction actually works. Google Ads is an auction. Multiple companies and websites are bidding on showing up for different search terms, and so Google is auctioning those impressions and clicks off to different people. Now, it is not necessarily that the highest bidder wins. Google is actually looking at a variety of other factors, and there's sort of three key factors that they're looking at. The bid is obviously one of them. If you're not willing to pay above a certain amount and three other clinics are, well then those three other clinics are probably going to get the click. But they're also looking at ad quality. This has to do with the relevance between the ad copy and the search and how likely someone is to actually click on one of your ads. And then the last core factor here is your landing page experience. The relevance of the landing page, the user experience, the load speed, all of these things contribute to what Google calls the landing page experience. This means having a weak landing page can actually hurt a strong ad with a good bid. Google will actually tell you how you're doing in these three core areas with metrics like quality score, where you can see the breakdown of your landing page experience and your expected click-through rate. So now let's talk about how you should actually structure your campaigns. Having the right campaign structure is going to help you have better performance and lower costs. And so this is really important to get right. Anytime we're setting up Google Ads for clinics, we always set up the campaigns to be a specific service in a specific location. So if you have multiple services or multiple clinic locations, that means you need to have it all broken down. This allows you to be really specific with each campaign as to what search terms you're targeting and what your ads are saying and what landing pages you're sending them to. Plus, this allows you to allocate your budgets based on the different needs at your different clinics or across the different modalities and services. So if you have PTs that are busy and chiropractors that are slow, you can shift your Google ad budget accordingly. So what we don't want to see is for you to just have all of your different keywords and services lumped into one campaign, even if it's spread across different ad groups. So a common campaign structure for a one location clinic might be something like a general physical therapy campaign with terms like physical therapy near me and PT in your city. A pelvic floor campaign with keywords that are specific to pelvic floor rehab and pelvic floor therapy. A chiropractor campaign with chiro search terms and an RMT campaign with RMT search terms. Now, each of those can have different budgets, different daily budgets, but that might be a common campaign setup. Now, once you have the campaign structure in place, let's talk about the keywords. One of the common mistakes we see is really, frankly, poor keyword selection and using broad match keywords, which end up pulling in all kinds of irrelevant searches. Each campaign should be very specific and very targeted in the types of keywords that you're targeting. And we really encourage you to use phrase match, and exact match keywords. This is going to help you be really specific and targeted about when and where your ads are actually showing up and what types of searches then show one of your ads. Now let's talk about creating ads that convert, ads that perform. The first thing you need to think about with the ads is what landing page are we going to send them to? And I want to encourage you to pick the most relevant page on your website rather than just sending all of the traffic to your homepage. So if you have ads about pelvic floor physical therapy, send them to a pelvic floor therapy page. If you have ads about RMT, send them to an RMT page. Chiropractic, send them to a chiropractic page. Pick the most relevant page on your website so that when someone searches for pelvic floor therapy, your ad says pelvic floor therapy and the landing page says pelvic floor therapy, and you get this very logical connection through each step. Now, what's so important to remember about your landing page is that this is where the majority of people are going to convert. Most people will click your ad, get to your landing page, and that's where the conversion will happen or not. Most people aren't going to be clicking around your website, which means that your landing page needs to be set up in a way that actually gets people to convert. You need to have the right information in there, the right trust signals, and the right calls to action. Now, if you're not sure if your landing page is set up effectively, we offer a free audit. We'll take a look at your ad accounts, your landing pages, your website. We'll also look at things like your local SEO and any other clinic marketing that you have going. So if you're interested, please reach out and sign up for one of our free audits. So once we have the landing page, let's talk about the actual ad copy itself. We need to worry about the headlines, the descriptions, and the assets. For the headlines, there's a couple of main things I want you to think about. First of all, try to incorporate the keyword that people are searching in your headline. So if I'm searching for physical therapy in Coeur d'Alene, the ad should say physical therapy in Coeur d'Alene. But then there are different variations of headlines you can incorporate to make your ads more effective. For example, you can use call to action headlines, call us or book online, get in touch with us today. You can use feature headlines, same day appointments available, no doctor referral required, 150 combined years of experience, things like this. And then you can use benefit focused headlines. These are things that speak to the types of treatment and how you help people and how you help them overcome pain and get back to doing the things they love. And then don't forget about the ad assets and extensions. These are really going to help make your campaigns more effective. For instance, call assets help people call you directly from the ad without even clicking to your website. Location assets sync in your business profile and will actually show people how far away your clinic is. And then site links can be used to direct people to specific pages on your website. So now that we've got some ads in place, let's talk about budget. By far the most common question we get from clinic owners when it comes to their ad account is, well, what should my budget be? And the reality is it depends. It depends on how quickly you're trying to get results. It depends on how many new patients per month you're trying to generate from Google Ads. It depends on how many services you're advertising and how many locations you're advertising those services at. But I also think it's not necessarily the right question. What we should be focusing on here is efficiency, not necessarily just the raw number. If your ads are performing and they're driving an ROI and they're getting you great results, it's very easy for you to then scale that budget up little by little, versus if you just right out of the gate say, I want to spend $3,000 a month on Google Ads, and you don't even give your campaigns a chance to sort of get off the ground or start at a smaller number and sort of optimize and scale your way up to it. Now that said, you also don't want to set a budget that's too low. If you're spending less than $500 a month, it becomes very difficult for you to get the volume required, the volume in data and clicks and traffic and conversions in order for you to tell if the campaigns are actually working or drive some really meaningful results for your practice. One simple rule of thumb here is that we basically never run campaigns for less than $10 a day. So if you have one location with 4 different services that you're advertising, I would say you're looking at around a minimum of $40 a day. Now let's talk about conversion tracking. Your North Star metric, the most important thing you need to be optimizing for in your campaigns is the cost per conversion. That is, How much does it cost you to get a phone call, an online booking, or a contact form? Now, in order to actually understand this metric and track it effectively, you need to have the conversion tracking in place. And there's two common mistakes we see here. First is not having conversion tracking set up at all. So we need to make sure that we can tell from our landing page and from our Google Analytics how many people called us, how many people filled out a contact form, and how many people booked online. The other mistake we see with conversion tracking are incorrect conversion actions. For example, one really common one is to say that anybody that visits your contact page converted. Now, the truth is just a fraction of the people that visit your contact page actually reach out to you. So clinic owners will say to us, oh yeah, we get this incredible cost per conversion, but I'm not really getting that many new people on my calendar. I'm not getting that many extra phone calls from it. And then when we look at their account, it's because they have set up a handful of incorrect conversion actions. And if you do that, it's going to throw off your cost per conversion metric and make it much more difficult for you to understand if your campaigns are actually effective. When it comes to understanding if your ads are actually performing, there's three key metrics I want you to pay attention to. CPL, or cost per lead, that's essentially the cost per conversion that we had talked about. CPA is the cost per acquisition, or cost per new patient, because not every lead is going to become a new patient, and some campaigns are going to be more effective than others, and some types of services are going to be more effective than others. And then your ROAS, or return on ad spend. This is essentially going to tell you what kind of ROI you're generating from Google Ads. And that's it. If you follow all of these steps, you should have a much more effective Google Ads account structure and campaigns for your practice. It's going to help you generate a more consistent flow of new patients. If you have any questions, please feel free to drop them in the comments. We'd love to answer any questions you have about your specific situation or ad accounts. If you would like a complimentary audit of your ad accounts, reach out to us. We would love to take a look, see what you can improve about not only your Google Ads, about your clinic marketing, your local SEO. All of that is completely complimentary. Would love to jump on a call with you, learn more about your business, and really give you the roadmap of where you're at today, where you'd like to get to, what to improve, and how to get there. So thanks so much for listening. Have a good one.